When it comes to smartwatches, there are of course some smartphone manufacturers that are producing them, but there is one company that is specialized in producing smartwatches, and this is Kospet, and they sent me their new Pulse 2 that is super interesting, especially for your wallet. So let's get started. The Pulse 2 comes in this packaging, typical Kospet packaging, Pulse 270 sport and training modes with GPS, leisure, sports, and we have this model here. I've heard there might be also a round watch model available here, but this is the squarish off kind of version. Beyond light, built tough. And some more information here as well. AMOLED screen, of course, dual band GPS, 24/7 health monitoring, flashlight, and walkie-talkie function. Super interesting indeed. So let's open this up. Actually, I cannot open it up. I have to. This is new. So they have those kind of things that you open up with. No, not bad. Not bad. And here as well. Will be a real unboxing now. So let's open it up, fresh out of the box. Ta-da! There we go. The Kospet Pulse 2 Beyond Light, built tough. So we know that Kospet products are usually built very tough. How do I get this out? Even the packaging is tough. There we go. So here's the watch itself. Get it out of here. You can see it has the Beyond Light built tough sticker there that I can of course peel off, and you see it has a pretty large nice display here. We have of course also some buttons that we can press, but only on one side. So here, like the older Kospets, they don't have buttons on the left, just on the right side here. And yeah, that is it from the watch itself. This looks interesting. What's this? Some charging pins on the top. Interesting, but we have also charging pins here. So I wonder what this is for. Anyway, let's get inside and see what we get here. It might be a little bit cheaper than the other ones, but it still comes, of course, with a bracelet and a nice orangey kind of cable. Yes, we have this pogo pin, 2-pin charging. But yeah, this is a normal kind of rubbery wristband that you can replace with other ones. I think it's a standard 20 or 22 millimeter plastic. Fantastic. Yeah, even this here is made out of plastic, as you see here. But yeah, let's put it on and let's see how it looks like on my wrist. So one thing that I can tell you already, it's booting up, as you see here. I'm not a big fan of this wristband. On the positive side, it has many holes, so you can find the perfect fit for your wrist without any issues. And you have one holder and another one that goes into one of those holes to hold it tightly and securely. But it's a very cheapy kind of experience there. I mean, for sports and light sports activities, it might be good, but you might replace it quite quickly with something else that is a bit more less cheaper kind of feeling. Otherwise, yeah, it's robust, no issues with this. The display nice and big, and you see I have the possibilities to change my language here, and you see the refresh rate is also quite fast. So let's choose English here, and I have to use my QR code to connect to the Kospet app, and then I have the ability to use this watch. Outdoor visibility of the watch is quite good. It is maybe not getting as bright as some competitors that are a little bit more expensive, but the brightness is good enough that you can read it outdoors, even in sunlight. Otherwise, when it comes to sports activities, it doesn't have an auto detection mode. So when I start walking or running, it's not automatically detecting that I'm doing a workout. I have to activate it manually. This is a cool feature that I just discovered. This watch here features a real flashlight. It's not using only the display, which is very bright here in the dark as flashlight, but when if I hit the flashlight button, I have a real flashlight that I can turn up in intensity even. Let's turn it on. There you go. And whoa, you can see it is brightening everything up. So yes, there's a real flashlight built into the Pulse 2. How cool is that? The app that you have to use to get it connected to your smartphone is called Apex Move, and this one has the usual interface that I showed you already for the tank watches from Kospet. So we have this nice user interface where you can see I have the black version, so let's keep it black. I see my battery percentages. I have various settings that I can set up, like a screen timeout here that I can set. So let's set it up to 60 seconds. I like this a little bit better. And I have screen wake that I can turn on, like raise to wake, double tap to wake, always on during workout, for example. Watch faces store, I can get all my watch faces here. They have very beautiful watch faces here, like for example this one here, which looks very nice. So let's apply this one here, and you see how quickly it is applying it to the watch face and to the watch. You see it's like downloading directly to the watch. This is a pretty nice feature, and they have tons of those watch faces, and they all look as beautiful as this one here looks. Very nice readability wise, very cool indeed. And of course you have sports recognition that you can turn on. So I was talking about earlier that it doesn't have sports recognition was my first impression. It has sports recognition. You just have to turn it on. It's turned off by default. Outdoor walking, outdoor running, and road cycling, elliptical, and row machine are there for those kinds of things. So even this is possible here. I find my device, of course. It will then ring, as you heard. And we have some more features like alarm clock that I can set up my alarm clocks in here, which is quite cool. SMS quick replies are possible. Yes, only for SMS, not for other messages. You can apply here. But yeah, this would be possible if you want to have an SMS quick reply. I don't use SMS, so I'm not using this one here. Cover lock is enabled, so if you hold your palm over the watch, it will lock it. So this is possible. A morning brief is possible, so it gets weather information, sleep information, heart rate, training plan, battery, and yesterday's activities in this report, which is quite cool. We have contact support, emergency contact support, shortcuts, and so on. I showed you already once for the tank all the features and bells and whistles that you have here. Most importantly is firmware update here. I have this version here, and it's like on the newest version here right now, and I can switch to another device. I have all my workouts here. For example, last workout that I had, I can start workouts from here, and the last workout that I had should be also written here, outdoor walking, last time here, and I see it on a nice map where I was walking, how many kilocalories I was using, how many kilometers per hour I was walking, the speed, and I have everything nicely listed here that you want to have for such workouts here. And other workouts, like for example this treadmill workout for 1 kilometer, and giving you detailed information about the workout, which is pretty nice. Here's a short demonstration of the voice assistant that you have in here. How's the weather tomorrow?
Morgen wird es in Wesel sonnig bei Temperaturen zwischen 16 und 34 Grad.
So you see it's just calling up Google Gemini in this case from the microphones here and then answering via the phone. I think if you have set on Bluetooth settings the watch to be also a media device, it would then talk over the speakers here on the watch. Otherwise your phone will just answer you. To summarize and wrap it up, the Kospet Pulse 2 surprised me because I know Kospet already for very good build quality and very good smartwatches, but in price regions that were a little bit higher. But here you get almost the same kind of tough build quality for a much lower kind of price. Under $100 is really impressive for the build quality. The only thing I can complain is maybe the little bit of flimsiness, and it feels a little bit cheaper than on the higher end models, a wristband that it ships with. It's like a little bit more flimsy. But in this 3 weeks that I was using it right now, I didn't have any issues. It was not breaking. It was not having some issues with sweat or water that was irritating my skin or anything. So it's okay. And if you want to change it for a higher quality wristband, you have the ability. I think it's 20 millimeter, and you can just exchange it with a higher band wristband. Let's talk about the display. One of the highlights of this one is a very bright display. You saw it outdoors already. It is getting very bright even with direct sunlight. So you can always see your time, see your notifications, read them, and see all the stats of your workout that you're doing. This is pretty good, and even though it has this high bright display, the battery life is pretty long. So 2 weeks of battery life is definitely you can get out of this in normal usage. Normal usage means not always on display. I don't use always on display. I don't like it too much, to be completely honest. But if you want always on display, then just calculate 1 week less. So, or maybe even, yeah, let's say 5 days to be conservative, because I didn't really test it with the this is the official, I think, numbers by Kospet, 5 days with always on display. I don't think you want to use it with always on display. I think it makes more sense to have this like 14 15 days eventually without always on display, that you can get out of this with occasionally GPS and running and other workouts that you do. Talking about the GPS tracking and accuracy is just like with almost every other smartwatch. Yes, I think there are some other smartwatches that are a bit more accurate than this one, but we have to keep in mind it's under $100 here that we're talking. And for that, I think dual band GPS is on board, and the tracking is okay. The only slight issue I would say is the way it takes sometimes a while to get the GPS signal. If I want to start a workout, it is not like 1, 2, 3 and the GPS signal is there. It's sometimes I have to count to 10 or 11 or 12 before it finds the GPS signal. So I'm not sure what's going on there, if it can be improved, but this is something that I noticed, that it takes a while for getting the GPS signal. But if it gets a GPS signal, tracking is on point. Health tracking is also on point. I like the tracking of my sleep there, but also the tracking of my health. It's showing me the nice graph there of the track that I was running or walking, and it's showing me all the stats that I need, and they are mostly pretty accurate. They have also the ability, if you're on a treadmill that I was using for indoors kind of workouts, the ability to calibrate it, so because the treadmill is much more accurate. If the treadmill gives you a stat, you can calibrate it on the watch, so at the end of the workout you can calibrate it and set the same tracking distance that you see on your treadmill, and then it always kept the correct kind of distance then that you run or that you are working out with. So this is very, very good that you have the ability to do so. I think for fitness tracking it's pretty good, also with all the programs that it has for fitness tracking. It's pretty accurate and pretty good with this one. Also, I think the heart rate monitor, the mood monitor and everything else that's built in there is pretty accurate as well. There's sometimes a little bit of fluctuation. If you have a real heart rate monitor that you put around your chest or something like this, that might be even more accurate there, but most of the time you get a very accurate reading out of it. And talking about those heart rate monitors, would be cool if you can connect them via Bluetooth, the same way you can connect headphones via Bluetooth to it to listen to music, but sadly I was not able to do that. So this is maybe something where price-wise you have to say I have to go to a higher version to get those kinds of features. But on the other hand, when it comes to some neat little tricks, you get like lots of applications there on board, which is quite cool. Calls are possible, music, you can listen to this. You have the ability to also set alarms and have calendar events, which is cool. You have to set it up with your watch. It's not automatically syncing your calendar events there. But we have a calculator on board, which is already a little bit unique. We don't have an app store, of course. This is like a bit of missing, but a compass is made on board. A compass for this kind of device under $100 is already pretty interesting. The walkie-talkie function sounds very interesting, but I wasn't able to test it because I don't have a second watch that has this function. But it would be very cool to see this walkie-talkie in action there. What I really like is the flashlight. I was never thinking about it, and they put it in. Real flashlights, real light there on the side of the watch. And so not illuminating just the screen like I showed you. It's a super interesting kind of feature and super useful. And now I want this feature on every smartwatch, especially the more expensive ones as well. App support, like I said, is fine. There's no third-party app support or app store for that. There's no NFC payments. So for high-end smartwatch, maybe NFC payments would be cool to have there as well. For maybe a pro version of this one would be very nice to have. And yeah, in general, the operating system feels fluid. The only thing that I noticed is that sometimes when you swipe, you have animations on other things where you would expect animations, like opening up a setting or something like this, or an application. It's just like no animation. I like, however, how you can use this user interface, because when I'm running, when I'm working out, hitting the little things on screen is sometimes a bit hard. So the two buttons are really working nice. The upper button, you can go to the menu items are large, so even if I'm like stressed out a little bit or have a higher heart rate, heartbeat, I can just press on one of them, and then if I want to go back, I can press the down button and I'm back. So this always also with haptic feedback, because it's a real button press, and sometimes even giving you a nice little vibration to it. Vibrations are also a good part. These vibrations I feel even better than the ones on the Tank 2 that I was testing before, also a Kospet watch. They finally figured out the vibrations. They're very strong, and you notice when it's vibrating, you notice when your timer is running up, so it's nothing they can miss easily. Where in the past with the higher end models I had some issues, this one is working very nicely, very fine. So I cannot complain at all, especially when I have the price in front of me here, under $100. This is just fantastic what you get for this smartwatch here. So in general, who is it for? Someone who wants a basic smartwatch with bright display that you can read outside, long battery life, like I said, 15 days is possible, or more than 2 weeks definitely is possible, and that want to have a solid build, not just a little kind of fitness tracking kind of device, but a solid smartwatch with nice watch interfaces, because this is one of the highlights. Even if you go into the app, you'll notice that the watch faces are one of the best watch faces that you can find on the market for smartwatches, because they're highly optimized. That shows Kospet's long-term experience with smartwatches. They are optimized for the screen, so there are no scalability issues. There are no too tiny fonts here and there. Even in watch faces that are as busy as my watch face here, it's no issue at all to read everything on this device. So 2 thumbs up for me. If you're interested in the Kospet Pulse 2, see the link down below. If you have some questions regarding it or some comments, put them down in the comment section. That's everything for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Until the next time. Bye.